Now we discuss about the surfaces of the ilium, right? Okay friends, look carefully here. As our ilium has different surfaces, look carefully. Here is a surface and here is another surface and here is another surface. So the ilium has three important surfaces. And what are those surfaces? If I hold this ilium in its proper position, so we know that this is the left pubic bone, right? Because the acetabular fossa is on the lateral side and the pubic bone is anteriorly, so you will find it that is it the right or the left. So that's quite easy. The acetabulum should be placed laterally and the pubic symphysis or the pubic bone should be placed anteriorly, so you will know correctly that is it right or left. So look, this is the left iliac, this is the left pubic bone, right? Now it has how many surfaces? We are talking about only ilium, right? So the ilium is above here. It has a medial surface, it has a lateral surface, or we call it gluteal surface, we call it ilial surface, and we call it the sacroiliac surface, right? So how many surfaces it has? It has three surfaces. The gluteal surface, as here will be the gluteal muscles, right? Okay, let me show you here. This one, right? So look carefully. Here is the gluteal surface of the ilium, right? So here are the gluteal muscles. Then this is the medial surface, or you can call it the ilial surface, right? Okay, and then there is the here which they make joint with the sacral vertebra. So this is the sacroiliac surface. So you can see it in the camera. This is the gluteal surface, the outer surface. This is the medial surface of the or the iliac surface, and this is the sacroiliac surface, right? Sacroiliac surface. Sacroiliac surface is a little bit rough, has a little bit roughness in it, right? So I will show them while I will discuss about the bone there. So how many surfaces it has? It has okay, let me write here. The first one is the gluteal surface, right? Then there is the iliac surface or the ilial surface, iliac surface or the ilial surface, and then there is the sacro, is referred to the sacral vertebra, right? And iliac means iliac bone, right? Sacroiliac surface, right friends? The gluteal surface is responsible to give connections to the gluteal muscles, right? So we will say that this gluteal surface is further divided into four important parts, and I will show all these important parts while I will discuss about the bone in front of the camera. We will see that. And this gluteal surface has how many different parts? It has four parts, 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? And these four parts are formed by three lines, right? This gluteal surface has three lines. These three lines are, the first one is posterior line, which I will show in the bone. Then there is the anterior line, and number third is the posterior line, the anterior line, and then there is the inferior line, right? So it has three important lines on its surface, right? I will show them there. The posterior line, the anterior line and the inferior line. These three lines will divide the gluteal surface into four parts, and we will see these four parts when we will discuss about the bone, right friends? Then there is the iliac surface, right? The iliac surface, this one, this iliac surface has a very important part which is called the iliac fossa. Iliac fossa, and I will show you this iliac fossa also. And then there comes the sacroiliac surface, which you know that this the rough part, the posterior part surface or the posterior surface of this iliac bone is called the sacroiliac surface, with which the sacral vertebra will join here and they will make the sacroiliac joint here, right? So the sacroiliac surface has three different parts, and what are those three different parts? First of all, it has the or we say that it has the iliac tuberosity. Iliac tuberosity, right? Then it has, after iliac tuberosity, then it has an auricular surface. Auricular surface. Now I will show them while I will discuss about the bone, don't worry. And then the last one, it has the pelvic surface. Pelvic surface. So we say that the sacroiliac surface has three important markings. What are those? The iliac tuberosity, the auricular surface, and the pelvic surface. So okay friends, these are the three surfaces of your iliac bone. We discussed about the ends, upper end and lower end, and all these parts of the are the important points related to the ends of the iliac bone. Then there are the surfaces, and we have said that iliac bone has three surfaces. What are those? The gluteal surface, the iliac surface, and the sacroiliac surface, and I will show them there. The gluteal surface is divided into four parts by three lines, and these three lines are posterior, anterior, and inferior line. And then iliac surface has iliac fossa. Sacroiliac surface has three parts: the iliac tuberosity, the auricular surface, and the pelvic surface. Right friends. Then iliac bone has three borders, as we have said that it has three borders. And what are these borders? The borders are three, and they are, okay, the first one border is anterior border. Anterior border. Then there is the posterior border, and then there is the medial border. Medial border, right? So how many borders your iliac bone has? It has three borders: anterior border, posterior border, and medial border. Let's see them here. Look, this is the left iliac bone. Now look carefully. This part is the anterior border. Very simple. Look, if I hold it like this, this is anterior border. Then here is the posterior border, right? Look, follow my finger. From here we start and go up to here. This is posterior border. This is anterior border, right? And this is the medial border. So how many borders? Three borders. Now look, if someone asks, the anterior or the posterior border is formed by what? It is formed by, look carefully, anterior superior iliac spine, the notch, right? The anterior inferior iliac spine, right? That's good. These will unite and they will make the interior border. Now the posterior border is formed by what? The posterior superior iliac spine, the notch, the posterior inferior iliac spine, the greater sciatic notch. Greater sciatic notch, not foramen, notch, right? So the anterior, let's write here friends, the interior border is formed by anterior superior iliac spine, I have shown here, right? Plus with it we have the notch, then we have anterior inferior iliac spine, which I will show later, anterior inferior iliac spine, and then we have what? Then with it we have another important point, and that is the some part of acetabulum. So we will not write that, we just say that the anterior border is formed by anterior superior iliac spine, the notch, and the anterior inferior iliac spine will unite together and they will make the anterior border, right? Then there is the posterior border. So the posterior border is formed, as I told you, the posterior superior iliac spine, then there is the notch, then there is the posterior inferior iliac spine, then there is the greater sciatic notch, right? They will unite together and they will make the posterior border, and then there is your medial border, and this medial border is nothing but it is an eminence, it is an elevation, right? Here, if you can see here, this part is a little bit elevated part. So this elevated part is formed by the union of the pubic eminence and the iliac eminence. That's why we say that this medial border is also known as the iliopubic eminence, right? What is this? This is known as the iliopubic eminence, right, friends? So if someone's asked you that the medial border of the iliac bone is formed by what? Where is the medial border? So the medial border is actually present at the iliopubic eminence. That's quite easy. Now we have covered all the external features of the iliac bone, friends, and I have told you that I will have different lectures to complete these three bones. Now we discussed about the external features of the ilium, then we will go towards the external features of pubic bone, then we will go towards the external features of the ischial bone, and then we will go towards their attachments and muscles and everything. So fast recap, iliac bone is divided into three different, while we discuss about the iliac bone, we divided into three different parts: the ends, the surfaces, and the borders. The ends are two, upper end, lower end, and these are the details of ends. Then the surfaces, so it has three surfaces: gluteal surface, iliac surface, sacroiliac surface, right? And these are the important points about the surfaces. And then the borders: anterior border, posterior border, and medial border. The anterior border is formed by these, posterior border by these, and medial border by the iliopubic eminence. Okay, friends, now we will go into the detail of, and we will see all these important theory that we discussed here. We will see it in this bone. Let's go there.